female racing drivers, a subject some people are very passionate about, usually women in motorsport, but also people incessantly online hating on it. The examples we've seen in F1 have been short-lived as of yet, but that doesn't mean that the next big name couldn't be karting right now. Welcome. This is Open Wheel Opinions, and I'm here to talk about women in racing and how Sebastian Vettel is maybe doing more for the sport than all of Formula One management combined as an Instagram dad posting karting reels. I can't blame people for not caring when every new women's motorsport is bankrupt after 2 or 3 years, so there's not even a functioning website for a lot of these things. And the Wikipedia page is rough around the edges. So let's go through the usual responses that people have for why women can't get into F1. And I'm going to show you why all of those reasons are bullshit. It's clearly an uphill battle to get women through the feeder series and up into F1. It's hard, you have to be rich, and if you're young, rich, and a woman, why would you be risking it all? Like an adrenaline junkie named Brad making a Red Bull short. We just aren't usually brought up in the garage. I was lucky enough to help my dad rebuild a Dynasty Green Ford Mustang 1969 till he gave it away to my brother. Anyway, of course there's a few standout examples, though it's mostly in rally. So there's the European Pat Moss, who's considered the most successful female rally driver ever. There's Michelle Mouton, the Quattro Queen, from Group B, which by itself is impressive. And more recently, we have Leah Block, who's been following her father's footsteps and more, going through Rally, Extreme E, Nitrocross, and now to Formula One Academy. There are girls out there right now who are trying to break through the barriers to entry. There's no reason we can't perform at the same level. Everyone whines about men having more upper body muscles, but you really can't get that big as a driver. We're not looking for muscle mommies, just somebody with a thick neck and a lack of fear. There's a minimum driver weight and maximum car weight. So for people like Yuki and Kimi, you definitely need ballast to get up to 82 kilograms a person. I'm thinking for once the itty bitty titty committee might have a little bit of an advantage here. The girls and Hamilton just need to work a little bit more on upper body and a little bit less on that ass. So I'm saying it's not impossible, you just have to work a little harder for the right physique, that being beanpole with a thick neck. It's why I love watching when they start swinging at each other. They look like little bobbleheads. I mean, they have to be pretty quick, because at 200 miles an hour, you have to be. So let me read here. Lewis Hamilton reportedly has a reaction time of 200 milliseconds? Meters second. Lewis Hamilton reportedly has a reaction time of 200 ms, and Michael Schumacher averaged 170 ms on his race starts. Most F1 drivers fall between 200 and 300, but the fastest reaction speed ever recorded was from a woman at 118. Despite the myth, while females might have a slower average reaction time, it's been seen over and over again that in competition video games and in sim racing, they're right there. One last issue people have with girls getting started is that the sponsors are not geared toward the women viewers, so companies are less interested in picking women drivers. This complaint doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. We already have plenty of gender-neutral interests like credit card companies, and there's Amex, Visa Cash App, there's fashion brands like Louis Vuitton and Ralph Lauren. I mean, men know well enough that the glitzy shit sells. Have you seen the prices of official F1 merch? I mean, I might as well be buying a whole Louis Vuitton jumpsuit. Hire whoever had the idea to can water in those Red Bull cans so that athletes can drink them after, because you know after going 3 Gs your heart would explode. Women are not difficult to sell to. We're living in the same late-stage capitalism as the rest of you. And as long as the driver's successful, you'll get eyes. So, clearly whether or not you're hanging wang doesn't matter. What does matter is if you can force yourself awake during an astronaut's training session and lock eyes with the Grim Reaper when you're making that turn. There's no gender on adrenaline, and actually what's happening is a lot of women are too busy shitting on each other to let themselves or their kids do anything cool.
Needing this match, you know? He's like pinning him, everything, and then the mom just...
I need to take
short view back to the past.
to show you the shortcomings of those motorsport series that have come before. When you search women in Formula One, there's a lot of crash footage, and then this.
A complete novice could become the next female racing driver and compete in a McLaren GT4. We started with 500 applicants from 27 countries, ranging...
You know what the best way to tackle complicated issue of gender inclusion and separation. That's right. Reality TV. Starting off with controversy, this was a championship made as a reality TV competition where the viewers would be the voters, and they were racing Mazda RX-8s because with a name like Formula Woman, why race a single-seater vehicle? 2004 had some great sponsors with Mates Condoms. I mean, let me just say, they really knew what they were doing getting onto an F1 car. Look at all the cool shit you can afford if you use a condom. This series went off the rails faster than if Lance Stroll was a train conductor. The only female judge quit early on to filming and really didn't explain why. The public had a bone to pick once they found out that women were not picked for their driving capabilities, but for their performance. So basically they made it sound like they're just picking the best actors, not the best drivers. Sponsors started dropping left and right, so to salvage the program, they decided to scrap the judging piece completely and instead have the experts talking to the drivers about their performances, as well as shortening the program to only 3 episodes. This was all just in the 2004 debut. In 2005, Mazda said, screw this, but Britain was holding on strong. They turned it into the Formula Woman Nations Cup and got them into Caterham 7s. A similar engine placement, rear-wheel steering, and not the same. So they lost TV coverage for 2006 and were still competing without it, but that was it. So 2007, they pulled for admissions for drivers, but nothing else came, and 2008, the website closed down, making it a slow, quiet death. Their YouTube was last updated a year ago, but I was excited to find a running Facebook page that says they're indeed reviving the race with SR3s. The posts are awful, though. They have random hashtags, no one's tagged, and the same 3 LinkedIn emojis. I mean, who thought it was a good idea to let the intern be in charge of the social media posts? This is just bad marketing. I hate it so much. We're finally at a women's series that you might be more familiar with, but for those who don't know, W Series was a theater series that still wasn't really a feeder series, but they were in single-seaters this time. The inaugural season sent 54 girls through testing to choose 20, including reserve drivers, and everyone would be driving with Formula spec cars, though they weren't even up to F3 standards. Everyone said they would be chosen based on merit, but is this starting to sound familiar yet? They started coming under fire for the $1.5 million prize pool, which many argued would be better used in educating new drivers up through the series or sponsoring them. A lot of the girls were grateful for the seat because the money problem was hitting hard, and it was basically free as long as you made it through the qualifications. If you did well enough, another sponsor would notice you and you could continue on. The first year went pretty well, so Jamie Chadwick took it by the skin of her perfect teeth, and some good highs and lows overall for 2019. 2020 forced the drivers inside to compete in iRacing instead due to extenuating circumstances. Critics doubled down, asking what the point of an all-women sim racing series is. By the time 2021 came around, the organization was starting to realize they might have bit off a little bit more than they could chew. Jamie Chadwick took the win again in 2021, and a few memorable moments happened, mostly being the stupid curbs from the FIA that year, turning Abby Eaton's car into the Spine Crusher 3000, and the crash that keeps coming back. I swear that corner has done more damage over the years. The 24 Hours of Spa also had a 6-car pileup on that corner, and in the same sector, we lost Antoine Hubert from F2 2 years prior. That corner's just bad. I don't know what to tell you. 2022 brought new sponsors and changed it up so that they were in teams, and half the drivers sporting sponsorship logos and the other that stupid W with the colors. I don't know why they chose those colors. The fans were ready. They were ready for new racers to come and show their faces, but Jamie Chadwick showed up. It took the wind out of the sails for this to be a feeder series, and the lack of enforcement brought another downturn in viewership. It became unofficially known as the Jamie Chadwick Cup. The organizers said there would be a 2023 season, but they didn't pay out the drivers for the previous one, so half of them jumped ship. Goodbye, free seat. W Series was liquidated, and that brings us to... With the last attempt to push women into sport having not paid out its prize money, I'm sure they'll take a step back and give some reassurance to the drivers. No, they're not. They're saying it's the first of its kind in motorsport, bringing women, blah, blah, blah. It's the first one in FIA. That doesn't mean it's going to be good, though. It just means that now drivers can get fined for taking too long to take it. Fans were starting to get mad because now it just looks like Liberty Media thought they could slap together their own series. It's a pat on the back for a job half-assed. The first year of F1 Academy was not broadcasted, which caused a lot of confusion for 2024, and Sky Media had no idea what to say. Still don't. They probably just got mad that they were stuck on the 2-minute token women segment instead of a series that means something. If you want to get sponsorships, start getting actual posts about your events. I mean, they've got makeup sponsorship, which is great, but W Series had Caitlyn Jenner, so any step was a step up, okay? I say that while also being really weirded out by the fact you can't really tell who's legal up there and who's not. I mean, tell me I'm going to jail for watching the thirst trap on Instagram or not. That's all I need to know. We shouldn't have to go through Google to understand the sport. A huge win from F1 Academy is that they did listen to criticisms about W Series, and the winner gets a spot in a different feeder series. Abby Pulling was our winner from 2024, and she can now be seen racing in GB3 Motorsport. The man of the hour, Sebastian Vettel, who is retired. The FIA gave his #RaceForWomen challenge less than 10 minutes before the Jeddah Grand Prix started, and I don't think I saw it again. They do this to Seb all the time. He invests his time into fantastic organizations, talks to his friends in every garage to make sure that real hearts of the sport are involved, and shows up with every ounce of PR and charisma. He's working hard to gain as much screen time as he can for these causes. Inspector Seb saw the driving law change in Saudi Arabia in 2018 so that women could drive at all. This is a prominent racing country with 3 GPs in its area for F1 and a shifting culture of inclusion. Anyway, he saw the potential for young girls to join the sport and take off through the series, and he was right. They're vibing, they're giving these girls time on the simulators and the asphalt, and showing what it looks like when a beacon of the sport decides to get shit done. Just look at all of the great women coming out of the woodwork with motor oil under their painted nails and a score to settle with the patriarchy. He even orchestrated interviews with the participants and posted it on his own Instagram with tags. Farah Al-Yusuf made an appearance, and she gave pointers to the youngsters on how to get through karting and up into the series. And considering she's a woman with that name and is from where she is, then I'd say she knows how to get it done. Vettel showed everyone that instead of a gratuitous circle jerk quote-unquote feeder series that lets 30-year-olds compete with teens, he'd get out into a cart and show people what they can do against a world champion, and thus gave sponsors zero reason not to support the female drivers. Sorry if you can hear my dog. This is a love for the sport, educating drivers and encouraging a community to grow at the Jeddah track like we've never seen before. Vettel, he understands. Alright, here's what I'll leave it with. Representation good, othering women in a separate series, and not educating the viewers, bad. And that's the main issue with F1 Academy. It's not the topic or premise, it's the way they're developing it. It's only marginally better than W Series. Both have been criticized for not being a true feeder series into Formula One and for being more interested in marketing than actually helping women race. In short, if you are getting into the sport, I hope you're young, because it's going to take a while after all we've seen. Thanks, Danica. Here's what I'll leave it with.